Okay, let's now perform another example, but in this time we will use for loop. Assume that we want to make a program that prints the values between 1 and 10. How will we do it using for loop? Let's see. Let's type for, and then we will open the parentheses, and then between the parentheses we will have initial condition, and let's type it int x equal 1. That's our initial condition, and then after typing the initial condition we typed semicolon, and then we will have to type the checking condition, which will be x less than or equal 10, and then another semicolon. After this semicolon we should type the finishing statement, which will be executed after the end of each loop. I think it should be incrementing the value of x, which is x plus plus, and then inside the loop let's type system.out.print. let's make it .print, not println, to print them in only one line. So let's type x and then plus to concatenate spaces between them. Let's run and see. As we see, it printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 separated by space, and it didn't forget to print the space after the 10. Okay, let's perform another example that prints values of an array. Let's declare an array, let's say x, and let's assign it by random values 6, 1, 7, 0, 5. We assigned it by 5 values, and then let's start typing our for loop. Let's say 4. Okay, now let's type the initial statement that will be executed in the beginning of the loop, and let's declare an integer variable I, and let's assign it by 0, then type semicolon, and then let's make a condition that will stop at the end of the array. We assume that I will be referring to the index of the array in our loop. So in the first loop I will equal to 0 in order to access the element of index 0, and in the next loop I will be incremented to 1 in order to be able to access the index 1, and so on until reaches to the end of the array, so that this condition will be I less than 5, and then semicolon. And now we need to type the ending statement, which will be executed after the finishing of each loop, which will be incremented the value of I plus plus. That guarantees to exit from this loop. If we didn't do that, so we'll never exit from this loop. So let's print, but in this time will be in separate lines, x of I. Let's run and see. So as we notice, it printed in the first loop x of I when I was 0, so it printed x of 0, which is 6. In the next loop I became 1, so it printed x of 1, which is 1, and so on until printing the entire array. But let's debug the program to notice well how is the for loop is performed. Let's starting from here and then debug as Java application. Yes, and let's switch to the debug perspective in the Eclipse. Now let's perform this line. As we see now, we have declared x with those values 61705. Let's open it. X of 0 is 6, x of 1 is 1, x of 2 is 7, x of 3 is 0, x of 4 is 5. And now let's perform our first loop. Now we have int I equals 0. Let's step over this line. The program entered the loop successfully. That's because when evaluating this expression, which is in this loop 0 less than 5, it evaluates true, so we entered inside the loop. And then we will execute this statement, which will print x of I, and in this loop, as we see, I is equal to 0, so it will print x of 0, which is 6. Let's step over this line and see. As we see, it prints 6 and return back again into the beginning of the loop. F6 again. As we see now, x is incremented to 1, and then we enter the loop after evaluating this expression, which is 1 less than 5, true. So we go inside the for loop, then perform this statement, which is printing x of 1. As we see, let's press F6. So it printed 1 and returned back again to the loop, the third loop, the fourth loop, and in this case I now is equal to 4 and will print x of 4, which is the last loop. Let's finish it. Okay, we return back again to the beginning of the loop, but in this time, when will we press F6? It will exit the loop. That's because when the program evaluates this expression, which was in this case 5 less than 5, it evaluates false, so it exits the loop. Okay, in this tutorial we talked about loops. We learned how to perform while loops, do while loops, and for loops. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.